It's Wednesdays with Wade. San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips joins the Blitz every Wednesday for an inside look at your San Antonio Brahmas. Now, here's the Blitz with Wade Phillips.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Now joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line for the playoff edition of Wednesdays with Wade. Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. Coach, a tough one last week in St. Louis, which means you guys have to go back to St. Louis this Sunday night, 6 o'clock for that playoff game. I know we don't want to talk too much about what went wrong last week, but what went wrong last week?
Well, we gave them a lead early, and then we had a chance to win the game, obviously. So, we didn't play, or we had 6 starters that didn't play. So, I feel good going back in there with hopefully a lot of these guys back.
Do you know yet, Coach, who you're going to get back and the possibilities of being more full strength than you were last week?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to tell.
Okay.
Come on, Coach, it's just us.
No, we don't know for sure. I mean, obviously our quarterback got hurt last week as part of it too. So we had 6 guys that basically starters that didn't play, and then our quarterback got hurt during the game. Although Quentin Dormady did a really good job for us. And I know we did. We outplayed them the second half. Once we settled down, the crowd noise was a factor early in the game or the first half. But once we settled down, I think we got used to that. We played the way we play. So I expect to go back in there a little different this time.
You know, Coach, last week I asked you about the confidence in your kicking game, and I know they were long kicks, but he missed a couple in that game, including the potential game winner. What is your confidence?
Well, he had one block, but they were illegal on that play, but they didn't call it. So, but we'll see.
Do you send video of that to the league? But I mean, you're confident.
We told them before the game that they lined up illegally, but they didn't call it. So we complained, and they know it now for sure.
What is his confidence level right now? What do you, as a team in the locker room, as a coach, what do you say to a guy that's a kicker that you might have to rely on this week? I'm not worried about your confidence, but what's his confidence level like?
Yeah, I mean, I believe in my player, and I told him, guys, kickers are a lot different in that they may only get one chance in a game to run a play. I mean, we got guys that miss tackles. We got guys that drop balls. We got guys that, and I have confidence in those guys. This guy works hard. He's he works at what he does. He kicks really well in practice. So, I believe he's going to do well in the game when it counts.
Coach, what is the challenge of having to go back to the same stadium?
Our quarterback, just to interrupt, Dormady had a terrible game against DC, and they said, "Oh, we need to play somebody else." And he came back and won several games for us. So I still think you got to believe in your players. If you watch them in practice and know that they can do what they need to do.
Well, I guess it's a good problem to have. Not sure exactly the extent of Garber's injury, but with Dormady playing the way that he is, you got to feel pretty confident that you've got 2 guys that you can go to at any time.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
Who's right now, Wednesday, 4:40, who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback Sunday night for the Brahmas?
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, obviously Garber's now he didn't break his hand like he did before, so we're testing it in practice, and he did okay today. Of course, it's his left hand; it's not his right hand. So I mean, he can still throw the football, but we just need to see if he can handle the snaps and do the other things you need to do, handoffs and those kind of things. And we'll determine that the rest of the week. But he actually threw the ball pretty well today.
Wait, what is the challenge of having to go right back to the same stadium again, play the exact same team 2 weeks in a row?
Well, the challenge really is for me to do a better job of getting our team ready to play against crowd noise, because we weren't ready to play. We didn't play well enough the first half. Now we adjusted really well, but I just think going back in there and playing our game and playing the way we can play without, those mistakes that were caused by the crowd noise, but weren't caused the second half. So if we can play that kind of game, I think we'll be in good shape. Plus, we got two backs coming back that are, one of them's the leading rusher in the league, and the other's the leading receiver out of the backfield in the league. So we got more punch than we had last week too.
Well, nice to get those offensive weapons back for sure. Defensively, holding A.J. McCarron to 10 of 24 for 115 yards and an interception. You sacked him 3 times. How do you take what you did to them defensively last week? Because that might have been, was that their lowest scoring game of the year? I mean, defensively, you played well enough to win. How do you tweak the game plan to face those same guys the next week? Is it anticipating what you think they might try to do differently?
Yeah, some of it, but I mean, some of it's matchups. We had good matchups, and we had a good rush on them. That gave them a lot of problems. Our coverage is really good. And we've been playing that way on defense. We led the league in almost every category on defense, gave up 3 points the second half. So I feel good about our defense going in again.
Yeah, I think the defense, Coach, we've talked about that, has been solid all year. Obviously, what stands out to me looking at the stats is the rushing yards. I would assume that would be an emphasis going back into St. Louis, trying to run the football a little bit better.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, I think we hurt ourselves early in the game, and like I say, the second half, I thought we ran the ball fine and we threw it well. So, and then, like I say, the added additions of a couple of running backs coming back will help us.
One of the things, you guys haven't had many games like that this year, but you bounced back every time. Is there a disappointment in losing, knowing that you lost your opportunity to host the playoff game? What's the attitude been like with the coaching staff and the players this week as you prepare for that return trip to St. Louis?
Well, the last game's over. Every game's 1-0, but this is different. This is playoffs. And you have to, no matter how you play during the season, you need to step it up a level for playoffs, and that's what we're preparing to do. We're, you try to get ready for every game, but even more so, it's more important. It's one and out, so it's a different mindset, I think, and teams that play well or do well in the playoffs, which I've been around a lot of them, step it up another notch, and that's not only physically but mentally.
Wait, how much does experience matter? Do you have some guys that have been in a situation similar to this, or in a situation like this, that they can kind of help guys that maybe haven't? Does that really matter, or are your guys just ready to go?
I think it's just being ready to go. Now, knowing your opponent, I think, is a key thing. And, we just played them last week. We can study what they did, how they tried to block us, how we tried to block them, one-on-one matchups, all those things. I think we can take advantage of some of their weaknesses. And they've got a really good team. We know that, but there are some weaknesses that individually we can take advantage of. We're going to try to.
Knowing only 4 teams are left playing in the UFL, do you do anything different this week as far as scheduling goes, or do you try to keep everything as normal routine as you have throughout the season?
Well, we try to keep it as normal as we can. This point in the season, you should know most of the plays you're running, most of the defenses you're running. So it's what they do and how we can stop it or how we can take advantage of it. And like I said, we just played them, so we should be able to know quite a few of those things. The thing that hurt us more was I didn't get them ready to play in the crowd noise, and we're going to remedy that.
I'm obviously, without giving away any secrets, Coach. I mean, how do you do that? Number one, getting them ready for the crowd noise, and do you see a difference in your team this week on the practice field?
Yeah, I think we are stepping up. We've told them that. I mean, you got to step it up this week because we are in the playoffs, and it is one and out, and it's a big factor. We just put earplugs on our offense, and so they can't hear the crowd.
It works, right?
Yeah.
Earplugs are practice with crowd noise, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
Playing in front of, what was it, 34,000 in the dome. Go with earplugs. I get, and you have experience. You've throughout your coaching career, you've played in some pretty loud places. I guess you draw off of some of those experiences.
Sure. And like I say, I didn't do a good enough job last week, but we're going to do better this week.
Well, I love the attitude, Coach. But I mean, you've had these guys coached up pretty well all season long, especially that defense, without a doubt. Well, you guys and I know you say to keep it the same. Do you have a lucky meal, Coach, that you might feed these guys before the game?
No, it's not. It's not lucky. It's the preparation. That's the key. The will to prepare is just as important as the will to win, and they need to know that.
And then you get a same routine this week. I guess Saturday fly out to St. Louis, probably in the same hotel and the same routine. I'm trying to find what are the positives of going back to the same place 2 weeks in a row?
Well, it's familiar. Like I say, it's still familiar with the crowd knows will be familiar as it wasn't last week. And then, where you stay, what time, we play a little later, but that gives us more time to get ready. So, but it's still, it's just being familiar. And, we're pretty familiar with the football field because it's 100 yards long and 53 and a third wide. So kind of like the one we practice on.
You didn't steal that from Gene Hackman, did you, Coach? I'm just wondering, from Hoosiers.
Any motivational?
I thought that was good. That was a good movie. I'm not good as Gene Hackman.
It was pretty good.
That was a great movie.
You get the tape measure out. Do you do it?
It was a great movie.
What's the motivation speech? Do you show up with your Super Bowl 50 ring? What do you do this week?
I use everything I can. I tell you, but the players are really motivated. I mean, if they can't get up for this game, they shouldn't be playing. So they're going to be up for the game.
Well, I can't wait. I tell you what, I think it's going to be a great game. And I just see, and I know you don't talk about revenge, but I just think that was y'all's game to win. And for whatever reason you didn't, I just think the guys are going to really come out and perform well.
I'm with you. I believe we will. We got to keep practicing this week and, do what we need to do, but we'll come out and play. And that's all I ever ask them is go out and play your best. Play your best you can play. And I think that'll be good enough to win.
Well, and again, if you're going to have to split with this team in St. Louis, you'd rather win this week than last week, obviously. So let's, after you win on Sunday night, game starts at 6, televised on Fox. What's the plan getting ready for the championship game? Do you stay out there, or do you come back and go through another sort of normal week as you get ready for the title game?
Yeah, we come back and we get ready for Michigan or Birmingham, who we played, and certainly we're familiar with going to St. Louis, and I'm sure all those fans will be on our side, because we're in the XFL part. So 30,000 or 40,000 will be cheering for us.
They may be confused, Coach. They may think you're the home team.
I hope so.
just claim the dome, Coach. Has it been one of those days you seem a little short today with some of your answers? You're in a good mood?
Yes.
There you go. That's it.
Just checking.
Yes.
Just checking.
Yes.
Well, maybe you're just mad at Reinagel because he's wearing a Cardinal shirt today.
I didn't mean to. I wasn't even thinking, Coach. I got a St. Louis shirt on, but it's for the Cardinals.
Actually, I'm a little upset because the all UFL team came out and we only had 2 players on. So I think we deserve more than that. The other 3 teams that are in the playoffs, one of them has 7 on it, and the other 2 have 5. and we have 2, and Arlington has 3. And so, it upsets me about our players that they're not getting the accolades they deserve.
And that's why you're the successful coach that you are. You care about the players. And I think that is a robbery in for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to check with the league who voted on this and how they voted. I mean, Kirkland's he's the leading receiver in the league. He got the most catches and he got the second most yardage, and he's not on it. And running back Lovett, who averaged the most yards of anybody in the league per game rushing, he didn't make it. Jordan Mosley, who led the league in tackles almost the whole year, he wasn't even on the list to be voted on. So these things upset me. So sorry to be that way, but I am a little peeved.
Now, I appreciate the honesty, and why? Because you know what, those are legitimate questions.
Absolutely.
They've got the stats,
and we led the league in sacks, and we got nobody, not one of our pass rushers is on it. I mean, come on.
Now you just have to win the whole thing, Coach.
That's it.
That's it.
Team that was picked to finish last, right?
We can show them. Yep,
absolutely.
There you go. Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. You go win this week and you get to do this again next week, Coach. So there's that extra motivation you were looking for.
That's right. That's what I'm looking for.
Appreciate it. Wade Phillips, good luck this week. We'll talk to you next. Appreciate it. The great Wade Phillips on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.